Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. Today is special and I'm super stoked because I get to review and walk around this icon reborn. This is a 2020 Land Rover Defender. Thank you to Land Rover and Jaguar of Hoffman Estates for letting me film this vehicle and take it for a spin. Check it out. I'm gonna include the link in the description of this video. Check those guys out, they're great. They have a super good inventory. Let's talk about the brand for a second there. So Land Rover started building cars back in 1948, okay? So in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s, they actually named their vehicles Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. Then they switched it to 90 and 110 because they made a shorter wheelbase version and a longer wheelbase version. So 90 was a two-door, 110 was a four-door. This is 110. It keeps the name, however, it does have a longer wheelbase right now. It's not 110 anymore, and the 90 is not a 90 anymore. It's about 10 inches longer. So, but it kept the name to continue with the tradition, with the heritage of the Defender name. Now, I remember Land Rovers the most from what they used to have is this competition. It's called Camel Trophy. Camel Trophy was the teams of people, you know, competing against each other in some crazy terrain all over the world. Defender, but I had to discover it. It was a great off-road vehicle. Took it off-road many times. What about the Defender? So Defender, it was sold in the United States from 93 to 97. So only 4 years. And this is what makes these vehicles, like the old ones, very unique and sought after. As a matter of fact, I just looked up online. There are several of them available. Now check this out. Those cars, used cars, 93 to 97, selling right now from $50,000 to $130,000. That's crazy. There was nothing special about them, really. There wasn't. I drove one. I sat in one. I mean, it didn't drive good on the road. I mean, it had tremendous off-road capabilities, but on the road, it was horrible. I didn't like it. And it had nothing inside. You know, it had some kind of like Lego blocks, buttons on it, the typical old car. But at the same point, all the celebrities were driving it. Why? Because it was unique and it was expensive. So everybody needed to have it. Now, the rebirth of this, 2020. But 94 through 97, that was in the United States. Actually, the Defender was made up until 2016. Different parts of the world, of course, like Great Britain, they had it up until like 4 years ago. Now this is completely new. There's nothing the same from this to the old version, other than the name, the cool look of it. Here, Land Rover's gonna come in two versions, like I said, 90 and 110. So today, I'm gonna take a look at the 110, and this is the first edition. Let's talk price. Let's talk price a little bit. The price of the vehicle starts at $49,000, almost $50,000 for either 90 or 110. But it can top out at over $100,000. So now, what are we competing against? What was Land Rover thinking when releasing this vehicle? Because as an off-roader, you have, you know, Jeep Wrangler, which is obviously the icon in the off-roading. You have, well, Toyota, maybe the 4Runner, because Land Cruiser would be at the top of its price range too. And it's more luxurious. It does have a great off-roading capabilities, but I wouldn't put it in the same basket as this one. Now, the Bronco that's coming out, but Jeep and the Bronco are going to top off at about $55,000, and that's where it starts. So this would be kind of like in between the Jeep and the Bronco and the high end on the Mercedes G class, which is, you know, over $100,000. So this one with the average price, like this particular one at $73,000, would be right in the middle of it. Or maybe it's class of its own. All right, so let's talk about design of this vehicle. Now, if you look at it, that's what the SUV should look like. Big, square, big tires, nice engine. I mean, awesome. I mean, this two-tone. I mean, the plastic right here, kind of to guard it from scratches. The big tires on it. Now it comes standard with 18. This one's got 20-inch wheels with the beefy Goodyear all-terrain tires on it. The lights on this vehicle, even though they're square, but on the inside, the daytime running lights, they have the round daytime running lights along with the two lights on the side. So that kind of brings back the old Defender look of it. What else is similar? Look at this. Silver on the outside color. Black glossy top. This is a black glossy Defender badge. And this is kind of like an air scoop for it. Now these are fake. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to do a close-up. This is like kind of the diamond, steel diamond plates. They're plastic, so I wouldn't step on it, but they add to the design of this vehicle. Black glossy mirrors, top black. Here, these are actually windows that you can see inside and out. And this, I don't know what that is, but this is a design element. It's the same as the rest of the body. Gas tank. On the back, we'll take a look at the back really quick. You have this big spare tire that's actually on the outside of the car, not on the inside. That adds to that off-road look of this vehicle as well. All right, so let's take a look and see how much room there is in the back of this Defender. Big grab handle. I mean, you'll need it because the gate opens sideways, okay? And does have quite a bit of room. It seems like it's tall, so you can store some of the tall stuff in here if you'd like. This is all kind of that rubbery plastic. Here is your tools to remove and replace spare tire. And these are your third row seats. No kidding. I did not realize that this particular one had it. Now these again are for very short people or kids primarily, but they're here, and that is what matters, because if you need it most and you don't have it, then you wish you had even the small ones like the ones in here. So when you have the seats up, completely no room, just maybe for a few grocery bags. Okay, so I'm gonna fold the seats back down. I gotta get these things. Okay, headrest down. There's a little storage compartment on the side. There's an actual 110 volt outlet in here. There's a control for different fan speeds from the vent inside. And again, this is a soft close gate because of the weight of the spare tire. Right, before we take a look at the engine, I just want to point out, I showed you guys in the front these lights. I mean, now they're lit up so you can see this illumination on it. The nicely incorporated grille. There's a fog lights right here. There's actually air intakes that can help cool the intercooler in the engines. Defender, nice big logo on it, and of course Land Rover logo on it. Great looking car. Let's take a look and see what powers up this thing. All right, so let's talk about the engine choices here. So here in the United States, you're gonna have two engine choices. One is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine producing 296 horsepower, or the second choice is this engine right here. It's a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine. It's a turbocharged engine producing 396 horsepower, 406 foot-pounds of torque. Now, it's pretty cool because on the cover, you can see it's got 6 cylinders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, the number of those notches stand for numbers of cylinders on the vehicle. Engine that is very capable, both on and off the road. I mean, the rating on it, 0 to 60, which in my opinion is not very important on the off-roader, but it is 5.8 seconds, which is pretty quick for a vehicle that weighs that much. It weighs over 5,000 pounds, and it actually can tow up to 8,200 pounds. By the way, this engine is also paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Diesel engine that's available in Europe is not available in the United States, and I'm not sure if there's any plans of this coming to US. So let's take a look at the door panel itself, because this is pretty cool. It does have that rugged feel to it. Now it's raining a little bit, but you can see this is waterproof. This is this neoprene type of cover on it. What you can also see is that it has the Meridian stereo, which is the higher end stereo system, as well as you have your controls for windows, mirrors, settings for your memory seats, map pocket at the bottom. But what's cool is the exposed bolts that you can see. This brings back like the heritage of the true meaning of Land Rover, a rugged utilitarian vehicle, rather than what people are used to, that plush comfort SUV. What else is here? Grab handles. Now you can see that on pretty much every entrance. So on the driver's side, passenger side, if the vehicle is parked like this, not a big deal. You can get in here, you can grab the steering wheel and get in here. But if the vehicle is parked somewhere in the off-road setting, it'll be really hard to get in. So this is the additional grab handles. Oh. This is a first edition. So this is a model of the Land Rover. This is 110 first edition. But you can see there's no carpeting here. There's no carpeting, just this plastic rubber on the bottom. Makes it easy to wipe out. You don't have to vacuum it. If you get it muddy, you can just you know, wipe it out and be done with it. Electronic parking brake. Okay, right here. The seats, as you can see, this is a combination of this fabric, and that reminds me like those old tents, or maybe the covers for the cargo area on the trucks. They were made of stuff like this, and that's combination with the leather. Seat controls right here, forward, backwards. Now you have the lumbar support in here. Seats are actually very comfortable. What else is here? So here we have a charging for your phone if you'd like to, and this is cool. You have your cooler right here. So you press the button here and it will cool whatever you put in here, whether it's a 4-pack of soda or water or anything, that cools it down. So that's an interesting and I think useful feature, especially on, well, this is what I was telling you about, extra storage compartment underneath that front console. And that front console, actually you will have the option to get one without it, and with like kind of a third passenger seat in the front. All right, so we're on the interior. Take a look at what hides inside of here. So when you walk in here, big steering wheel, it does say Defender on it, doesn't say Land Rover, so it's made specifically for this vehicle. It does have a couple controls on each side, and what it looks like a touchpad. We're going to take a look and see what they do. But what a really cool feature is, when you walk in here and you can see a picture of your Land Rover Defender right in front of you. You turn the engine on right here with the push button start, of course. So nice instrument cluster. This one is programmed with the navigation right now, so it shows you the map right in the middle between the two gauges, between the two dials. On the left hand side you have the miles per hour, on the right hand side you have your tachometer, and they lit up, so now I can actually see that this one is to control your phone and tracks for the music. And on the other side we have, well, this one looks like the lane keeping assist and the cruise control, as well as a heated steering wheel. Controls for your windshield wipers on the right hand side, and controls for your lights and turn signal, of course, on your left hand side. You have your gear shifter right in the middle here. Alright, so looking at this middle instrument cluster, it's pretty simple, self-explanatory. Again, you can see that those buttons are kind of rugged ones. They're not those nice plush buttons, although they're very functional, but they're big and visible too. So what do we have here? Right on top you have the descent button. So basically, I guess if you push this mode, it will actually, the vehicle will descend by itself without you having to press the brake. It will just use the engine braking. So if you want to turn off the automatic engine shut off, so you don't have to have the engine turn off at every intersection, press the button right next to it. These two buttons raise and lower the vehicle, turn off the traction control, go into a low gear. Here's your automatic climate control, so we can sync it and set the temperature at whatever we want it to be. To the right you have the air recirculating button and that round knob right there. This is for your radio volume and power for your radio as well. These actually have a couple functions, not only the temperature settings, but as well as if you press the button on the top, it will let you actually select a different mode for driving. And as you can see, there's several of them, and we can just read through those. So starting with the eco driving mode, then we have comfort driving mode, then there is a gravel driving mode, mud ruts, sand, rock crawl, wade, and configurable, so you can select your own settings if you would like to. So now what's happening as I'm playing with this, the vehicle actually started raising itself, so that basically means that it's ready for the off-road mode. Now we're not going to do it quite yet. Let's just continue with the interior of this vehicle. So right on the side you have a big sign, Defender sign on it. Now this is not leather. This is more like a material that the wetsuits are made of, like neoprene. It looks like it's waterproof. It feels very durable. And on the inside, this is all plasticky rubber, or rubbery plastic, if you want to call it. But again, very utilitarian. This is what the vehicle is made for, to be very capable off-road. Charging ports for your devices. You have a regular USB, you have a USB-C, and then you have a regular power outlet for the 12 volt. What is this? Oh, look at this. This is your cup holders. Well, that is kind of strange that it doesn't slide. You can just remove it basically, and here it is, your big cup holders right in front. You can store more stuff underneath here. As you can see, there is access on the side and here. And what's interesting, now I don't know if I would make a huge deal out of it, but a lot of people said that what a great idea. You have the screen that's basically has nothing in the back, so it's like not attached. This is behind that infotainment center, so you can actually stick your hand, you can actually hide something there if you'd like. In other words, the interior, very simple, but very functional at the same time. On the top here, we have your regular mirror, and here's the coolest part in here. This is your digital mirror. And the digital mirror means that it turns on the camera that's actually on top of this vehicle, and that turns that mirror into a screen. So you can easily see of what's behind you. And the reason for it is, look at this. It actually has the spare tire as well as the headrest in the way. So if there's people in the back, you'd have a hard time seeing of what's going on behind you. So that's why with the flip of a switch, you turn that mirror into a digital mirror, and voila, you can see what's in the back. Very cool, very useful feature in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of vehicles will follow that lead to see what Land Rover is doing. So turn that off. You have your sunroof right here. You can actually open the sunshade first, and it's a panoramic sunroof, so it adds a lot of light. Now it's raining, of course, and the sunroof opens with the other switch, the other button in here. So, all right, so let's see what's in the back. And if you look at this rear console right here, this is the back of it, and I'm sitting in the rear seat, which you can see is the regular vents right here. This is your temperature for the rear passengers, as well as different speed for control for fans. And at the bottom of here you have two regular 12 volt outlets, as well as you have your USB outlets. So here it is. This is your 12 volt, one on each side, and this is your USB. Now if that wasn't enough, there's actual USB ports that are built in to your seats, to the back of the seats, and here they are. So you open this up, and then you can plug in and charge your device from here. All right, so one thing I almost forgot about is to show you the windows on the roof. Those are typical for Defender, and especially like the old ones had them, and the new one has it as well. It gives you this additional light into the cabin, plus they're kind of cool looking. Now if you look at the floor, again, it continues with the same rubber in front and back, so there is no carpeting in this car, so that can be taken into the sand or mud, and if you get it dirty, it can be easily cleaned up because there's no carpet. Okay, so last thing for me to check is how much room we have in the back. So I'm gonna climb up here, and yes, I said climb up here. This vehicle right now, it's raised, it's all the way in the off-road mode. So I'm gonna climb up here and let's check it out. You know, it's not bad. This is a passenger seat, but I have it adjusted the same way as the driver's seat, and I'm 6 feet tall. That's the way that I would be driving normally, and that's how much room I have. So plenty of room. I also, one thing to notice, plenty of headroom. Headroom is great on this car. I mean, I have probably another 5 inches above me for the headroom, so that's awesome. I mean, it's very spacious, it's very roomy, and I love it. All right, so it's time to take this for a spin, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a road test now, and then I'm gonna try to get on this little off-road course that they have, and I'm gonna switch it to the regular driving mode. This is a comfort driving mode, and I can see the vehicle is lowering itself for the on-road use. Right, so I mean, what's so special about this vehicle is that it can be taken off-road, but it's also very capable on the road. Now, I don't really care about that 0 to 60, even though, you know, it is rated at 5.8 seconds, which is not bad at all, but that's not what this car is made for. This car actually screams, take me off-road, get me dirty, show it off, you know, when you come back of which mud or which sand you went through, take some pictures of it, have memories, maybe go camping off the beaten path, stuff like this. So I mean, this is a vehicle for that. Unfortunately, I guarantee you that about 95% of people who will buy this car will never take it off-road. Right, so let's see, merging into traffic, awesome. Okay, this is something that a lot of times you might be concerned because you're getting into an SUV, and I should probably lower my seat a little bit. It'll feel better for me. Okay. Pickup nice, you don't really hear the engine, which is a good thing. I mean, it's not a sports car, you're not supposed to hear it too much. Displays, clean, easy to read. I didn't try the sound system. System, which is the system that Land Rover is using in its vehicle, and it's the higher end. It sounds really good. Visibility is fantastic. Visibility in front is awesome, and when I put on that rear view camera, this is like having a regular rear view mirror. This is crazy. I have never seen that one before. I wonder if Land Rover is the first one to use it, or if I'm just that far back in technology that I don't know about it. But this, you can see of what's going on in the back, because when you flip it to the regular mode, you can see the spare tire mounted, as well as the headrests for all the seats. So the visibility in the back is not good, but they remedied it with this mirror right here, which I love, by the way. I love the feel of the steering wheel too. I mean, it is leather wrapped. Some people might say it's an overkill for an off-roader, but it feels good in your hand, and it's grippy, so that's a good thing. Infotainment system, I think it's great. It's visible, it's intuitive. It might not have all these crazy features like a lot of the sports car have, but it doesn't need to. It does have several programmed off-road driving modes, which is great. Again, this is what this vehicle is made for. However, I can already hear the purists saying, well, it's gonna take the fun off the real off-roading, and you know, if you have the machine do it for you, what's the fun? Well, the fun is that you're probably not gonna crash your $80,000 vehicle and you know, just have computer guided. The drawback to it is, what if it breaks? You know, now Land Rover says that it's able to get the updates for the software over the air, so it might help a little bit. And definitely the air suspension is great. You don't feel any bumps when driving on the highway. Again, air suspension. I remember the 2003, 4, 5 Range Rovers, maybe even newer. They had a lot of problems with that air suspension. Hopefully they fixed that. This is one of the cars that it's awesome when it works, but I wouldn't want to be paying the bill when it does break. Well, let's not think about it. It's a brand new car and it's got warranty. And if you want to get an extended warranty, I'm sure you can extend it. Speaking of the warranty, I mean, it does have the 4-year warranty. I think it's a comprehensive warranty. Definitely, if you want to buy it, I would probably recommend extending it for a little bit longer. All right, so the on-road test, I mean, there's really nothing to it. It's a great vehicle. It's a great handling car. It's a great visibility up front. I love that you sit up higher and you can see everything. The rear visibility sucks, but like I said, they remedied it by putting in that digital mirror, which you can see what's going on in the back. So it's a great job on Land Rover part. Rear view camera does what it's supposed to do. It's actually a great visibility in that camera too. I'm curious if I'm going to be able to take it off-road. I'd love to. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this off-road in this little off-road park that they have in here. And in order to do that, I'm going to switch to a rock crawl driving mode. Alright, so what we did is we activated the rock crawl mode on this vehicle. It's in the low range, and you can see in the camera, and then we're just gonna go and see how that will handle that rough terrain. I know there's several different driving modes that this vehicle is available with. It's kind of scary, to be honest with you, but we're doing it. I mean, this is crazy of how this crawls over these rocks right here. I don't know if you can see it, but the angles on it are silly. Back in the rock crawling mode, Actually, the car does it for you, almost. And you can see how steep we are right now. And this is crazy because kind of need to give it a little bit of throttle and go straight. The final stage of a descent with these Land Rover. Okay, now we can see again what's going on in the front. I love it. This definitely puts a smile on my face. It's awesome. The approach and the departure angles on these car is amazing. This is really what it's meant to do. It's not this plush Range Rover that can only go in the parking lot, although these are capable as well, don't get me wrong, but this is what the off-roader should be. So just summing it all up, talking about this car, I personally love it. I'd love to have one in my garage. This would definitely be something to consider if I would be shopping for my next car. The only thing that I don't know about is, would I spend that much money on the car that's an off-roader? I mean, where I can get a Jeep Wrangler, or I can get the Ford Bronco for a lot less. But truly, if money was not an object, this car would be in my garage. I'm more excited about cars like this than the sports cars, with a lot of power, with 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. Those are cool too, don't get me wrong. But let's say going on a trip and going on a trail and going off the beaten path and living on the campground somewhere, river, I can already imagine myself doing that. Anyways, before I get too carried away with this, guys, I love this car. If you find this review helpful, please hit like or subscribe at the bottom of this channel, and I hope to bring you more videos like this, better maybe, in the future. Thank you everyone for watching. Cheers.